weird window. We are recording. We're in class right now. For those of you who are joining me on the internet, welcome. For those of you in class, this is your welcome number 2. We were just talking about player consequences, and we were talking about the idea of letting your player interact with the world in the manner in which you've prescribed for them to interact. Whether it's jumping, let them jump a lot. Whether it's shooting, let them shoot a lot. Let them do the thing that you designed them, the game to do. It makes it more fun for them. Oh, I had it on arrow keys. So, we're back to our platformer. I'm going to continue. For those of you who are on the internet, we're in a live class session right now, so I'm going to walk around and talk to the class, but I'll keep my screen running. So, guys, here we are with our platformer, right? What was this? What do we call this? The Adventures of Mouse Girl?
Mouse
Man, Mouse Girl?
Chick.
I'm going to show you a trick, by the way. I wanted to show you this last time. We're going to do something with this. Remember, I had implied something about masks previously, and we didn't really get into it. But a mask is what the game thinks any object is, right? We can go into the sprite, and we can hit Modify Mask, and right now it's on automatic. Usually what you want to do is do the full image and do a rectangle or something like that. So right now we've got an automatic full image, kind of a rectangle. I'm going to kick this over to manual. And what we're going to do is we're going to make an adjustment right here. Can you guys I decrease my resolution on my computer so you can see. But what we're going to do on the top right here is at 0, which means you guys remember on the grid 0 0 is top left, right? This applies right back here again on the mask. We're going to lie to the game for a second, and we're going to tell it that the top is actually at 10, or just so you can see it, we'll make it 15 or 18 or 20 or 30 or whatever. 30 is too much. Okay. We'll make it 10, like I said in the first place. So now the game thinks that the top of that object doesn't exist, right? This is actually cool in a bunch of ways. For one thing, we can make the player, instead of letting the game think that the player is a solid box, we can let the game think that their head is kind of a non-hit zone. That way their head can kind of go through stuff and they won't get penalized for it. They can get shot and it'll go right through the head and they won't get penalized for it, that sort of thing. If you're doing a top-down game, the masks are really great because you can fake it to where it appears like they're going behind stuff or in front of stuff because they're allowed to overlay it a little bit. But you'll see what I did here. It's a little bit overkill. You can see I'm actually standing through the block a little bit. The cool thing here is if you do it right, like if this block, for example, let's take this block here, and we're going to copy that, paste it. We're going to make it look a little bit kind of a fake 3D real fast here. You see that? Look at that. So imagine if I was actually standing on top of that, right? So now our player should come to the middle of it, and what it'll do is it'll make it look a little bit more like you're standing on top of a block that has depth to it. So that's kind of cool. Look at that. You see the difference there?
Well,
now that she's standing on it.
Tall.
Yeah, I stretched that one. So it looks a little bit more like I'm actually standing on it. And in your games, you can go in there and modify this effect a little bit more and push it even further if you like. Pretty fun though, huh? And I've done that in a lot of my games too. In the case of this room, I went and stretched some blocks, so it'll be weird. Okay, so that's one of the things I wanted to show you today. Anybody doing shooters? Pew, 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 pew. Got a couple hands. Anybody?
Making a new game.
Making a new game? Shooters? No? Blink, blink. Are you getting your platformer up and running? Jumping? I'm getting blank stares in the class. For those of you on the internet, your instructor is met with blank stares. Anybody else? Are you making progress with your platformers? We got Gravity.
Having trouble.
Yeah.
Gravity, on my other game, I made Gravity, but I can't make him jump. So this game is going to be hard to make him jump.
Okay, well, I'll make this available up on the website. It'll be foldupgames.com/class. No doubt that's your new homepage. So I post stuff there a lot, in case you haven't guessed already. I'll make this drag and drop game available to you so you can pick it apart, not so that you can cheat from it. I want you to look at it for an example and find out what to do. I want you to learn how to do this. It's no good for you just to get my game and modify it. You need to be able to make your own game. And remember the basics of our coding in here with the player is that when you press up on it, when you press down the jump key, If the place below you is not collision free, meaning there's a solid under you, then you set the vertical speed. Did you guys do the other part of it? Release, so do the half jump. That's where you're able to let go and do the half thing.
I use keyboard check and coding.
Keyboard check. Remember, keyboard check is a constant check, 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 check. So be careful with it. Let's get into this. Our player is 64 by 128. So I'm going to create a new sprite. I'm going to call it SPR underscore bullet. We're going to edit this and not load it. We're going to edit. I'm going to make a new sprite. You guys can follow along right now. At some point, I want to talk about the idea of action violence in games and why so many games involve shooting.
Because something you can't do in real life.
Probably it's something you can't do in real life. Now, we're going to take the center point, the origin. Remember, you usually want to center it, in my opinion. You usually want to center up your center point so it actually originates from the middle instead of the corner. Oops, it's not animated. You can animate it if you want to. You don't need to. In this case, we can modify the mask. Right now, it thinks it's a big box. This is a great opportunity for you to say, I want it to be a full image ellipse. So now it's actually a circle. I don't usually use precise image checking because it's trying to check every flipping pixel, right? And it'll drive the game crazy and you'll wind up getting hung up on pixels. So let's go ahead and make that. We're going to make an object. We're going to call it object bullet, right? And give it a sprite. Boo! Hey! Ho, ho. Oh, I already have a bullet. Huh. I must have done this already. Stop yelling at me. I already made one. Object bullet. Oh, okay. I already got ahead of the game here. So what we're going to do is when we go to our character, I want you to go ahead and make a variable. Go to the control variable, and we're going to make a variable called facing. This is just one great way to do it. It makes life so much easier. So much easier. You can make him facing according to the compass directions. Another thing I sometimes do is do facing 1 or -1 if he's going right or left. That has a lot of help too. I'm going to go with compass directions in this case. So he's facing value of 0 when he starts out. When you push left, we're going to change it. We're going to change facing value to what's left in your compass.
120.
Close. Try again. Try again. You got a cheat sheet right there in front of you. I can see it. It's right there. What is left? What is left? It's right there on your sheet.
-X.
No, -X, yes. On a compass direction.
I forgot it.
You're literally looking at it right now.
The
What?
grid?
Yeah, nope, not the grid. The compass. The circle. What is left?
What is left? 180.
180. 180 degrees. In everything outside of the game world, in the entire universe, a circle is made up of 360 degrees, right? And people usually measure them that way. They'll start on the right side is 0, on the left side is 180, 90 degrees is up, and 270 degrees is down. You've got it on your cheat sheet. Yes?
Which object did you say you're doing?
We're doing this on the player object. So when I push left, we're setting the value of facing, and it's just a variable I made up. And here we're going to take facing to 0 when we're pushing to the right. Okay. So now it's getting pretty exciting. Add a blah 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 blah. Keyboard. When you shoot something, what do you think? Is that a key press or a key release? I'm going to go with. It's not keyboard. If we hit keyboard, he'll spray bullets, right? What do you guys think? Key press. What am I writing?
That's what I
Key
do.
release, key press. That's a difference because a keyboard is continuous input, and on your jumps you want to have it probably be a key press.
So it's a keyboard check, basically.
Yeah, a keyboard check is constant, but we'll make a key. We'll do a key press of space, and we're going to use this guy right here. Man, we're going to create an object called bullet at x. Remember, we don't want to create it at 0, 0. Where's 0, 0 in this room? Anybody? Where's 0, 0?
0 is in the middle.
Nope.
The right corner.
Pardon?
The left corner.
The top left corner. Right. 0, 0 is the top left corner. If we have it create a bullet at 0, 0, it's going to create a bullet in the top left corner, and you'll be like, it didn't work. We want to create a bullet at 0, 0 relative.
To the player.
relative to the player, precisely. Again, this is why your point of origin becomes important, because 0, 0 is wherever you set the point of origin, and I set the point of origin of my player to their center, right? So it's going to create a bullet right there. Now, we've got a bullet. It's going to make it. Do we want to run it? It's not going to do anything. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Oh, look. I'm going to move out of the way. I made a bullet. Boop, boop, boop. Boop. Whoa!
That is so wrong.
I did not just poop on screen.
So it's making bullets. Huzzah! Huzzah! All right, so let's see. So now we're going to set... So now we need to get this bullet moving, right?
What is the other blue direction one?
The other... move fixed. I never understand move fixed. Master Ethan, do you understand move fixed versus move? It never makes sense. You know what? I do so much in hand coding nowadays, I don't even use the drag and drop. Yeah, I don't know either. Somebody out there has got to tell me what the heck the difference in move free versus move fixed is. Let's see. So we're going to create a bullet, and it is going to move in the direction that we're facing. I should have done this some more. I'm gonna. So Ethan, how would you do this, bud? You're going to do h speed of 5, and we need to set. Oh, I know what. Never mind. Direction is facing. That's why I was off. We're going to use the control. We're going to use that variable. It's going to be direction equals facing of, I think this is the way to do it. Boom, boom, boom. Let me test it and make sure.
So he throws little bouncy balls?
He's throwing a little ball right now. Either that or he's going to start moving. I don't know which. Uh-huh.
It goes through the wall, though. You need to make it destroy it, or bounce off or destroy itself when it hits the wall.
Direction equals...
Like a magic holster where he doesn't even have to pick up his gun.
Let me try that one. See, now I feel like I'm on the spot. I would usually just mess around with this, but I'm recording it, so now I'm like, people at home are going to be
Bored.
He has no idea what he's doing, does he? No, I don't. I'm going to pause the recording. What's that? Pardon me?
You could use move fixed.
Move fixed? How so?
The direction facing.
Okay.
See how this works. Click.
Move fixed. Speed of 10. You can't set the...
Oh, I mean the other one. Move in direction.
Moving. See, that's why you're here, Max. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. Because on the move, that's the difference on those. That one has more input. Direction equals facing, but we want to have it for facing of the players facing. So remember we went and put all that data in there for which direction they're facing?
I'd be lost.
You can't be lost. It's just variables. If it works, we'll backtrack and break it down. For those of you watching at home, this is what you do in real life when you're developing a game. Oh, no, I applied it to the character. Direction is...
Add that. You're ice skating. Next level.
Next level you can... I was pushing the button and it was able to change the speed of the player instead of itself. Oh, there we go. Jalapeno. Goodness gracious. We just wrote a little bit of code here. Now, technically, we could have the player create this as well. The neat thing about the variables is that you can use a variable, either the variable that you created or the variable that some other object created. And in this case, I just wrote it when the bullet is created, the direction it's going is going to be under object_player.facing. Now, when you create a variable within anything, if you call its name and then write dot, you're referring to whatever variable it created. So the player has that variable called facing, right? You guys got me? I'm facing either 0, or if I push left, I'm facing 180, right? So when the bullet is created, we're going to call upon object player's variable of facing. You follow me? Are you following along on your home computer here? I'm getting. For those of you watching at home, blank stares have continued. I don't know if this means that they've got it and are carefully trying to. That's very nice. And are carefully trying to institute it, or if they have no idea what I'm talking about.
Go back to the facing thing.
All right. Where did I lose you?
I missed the facing bit. There's the guy.
Were you paying attention or doing something else?
I was paying attention.
Okay. In that case, I'll repeat it.
Okay.
When we create the player, we're going to create our variable, and our variable, we just called it facing. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Facing made a lot of sense to me. When you created it, I called it facing 0, right? Facing has a value called 0. When you press left, we set the variable to 180. Here's a pro tip for you guys. Remember how I told you before, variables will save your skin? Like half the game is about variables and controlling variables, using them, calling them from other objects, calling them for yourself, blah, blah, blah. You got to create them in the create event in the first place, okay? If you try to call a variable later, you're going to get an error. It's going to go, what variable? I don't know what you're talking about. You're insane! So we need to create the variable. We need to do this to initialize it, is what it's called. So when we create the character, we create the variable called facing in the first place. So right there in the create event, this is the first time the game has ever heard of this variable you made up called facing. And so we have to give it a value right off the bat. And it made sense to start out with the same direction that the player is currently looking. When the game starts, we started our character out facing right, or on the compass to 0. So we set a value of facing to 0. When we press left, variable of facing is to 180. Again, we're going to reset it again, because when you press right, we want to set facing back to 0. When the bullet is created, right? You remember what happened when we pushed the button? The bullet just sat there like a bomb, right? When the bullet is created, we want him to move at a speed of 10, and his direction is going to be that variable. The way we call a variable in another object, we could have done it here just as well. Create an instance of object. Let's do actually, it's the other one, isn't it? You could do that here as well. We're going to do the direction of facing and a speed of 10.
And it applies to the object?
For the bullet object. Let's see if that works. We're going to create an object of bullet at XY, and the object bullet has got, this is probably going to error. It's probably going to be looking for, actually, direction is facing. It's probably, because I put it onto the player, it knows that it's my own variable. You remember how I wrote object player dot facing in there? That meant the bullet was trying to ask for the variable from the player. Yeah.
That's what keeps happening to me. I don't know what's wrong.
That's because when you did this, and you said it applies to the object bullet is moving at a speed of 10, it's looking for a variable called facing. The bullet does not have a variable called facing. You follow me? Object player has a variable called facing. We can type it like that. There's ways to do it in the drag and drop. Again, like we said at the start, I don't want you to be afraid of code in this class.
You do?
Who's afraid of code? We ain't afraid of no code. Put your hand down. You're not allowed.
What have you done? Make the bounce.
What are you doing?
Because every time I pressed space, it was changing the value of the instance. That's why I put it over here on the bullet. You follow me?
Oh.
Because we want to have it on the bullet's create event so that when the bullet is created, it's gone, okay? It's created, it's going. Because otherwise, every time you push it, every single bullet is going to pick up on the code. Now they're awake. What do you want?
Doing the player and use other.
Yeah?
So,
Other is another good way to go about that. You could write, yeah. Other is GameMaker code for meaning the other object in this, usually a collision event. See, now they're all going the way you want. Now, do you guys remember, I know, is this exciting? Can I get a golf clap, please?
There. Why am I jumping now?
Now remember, after if you start creating objects, they go on for all infinity, right? What do we want to do with this bullets Anybody? There's a couple things we want to do with it. Hit me.
If it's outside room, it should be destroyed.
Good one. That's one good
Because
thing.
then it would like freeze up your computer.
Exactly, because it will track it for all infinity. Outside room, destroy yourself. What's another good thing a bullet ought to do? You saw what else it should do. Somebody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else?
Destroy when it hits walls.
Destroy when it hits walls. Yes, on collision with an object solid, we're going to destroy yourself. Here's a good chance for you, by the way, to change it into a explosion. You could create a little explosion sprite.
I tried to do that.
You tried
to make the
Bink,
explosion.
bink, 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 bink. Bink, bink, bink. Pew,
How
pew,
do
pew.
you make the
Pew, pew, pew.
explosion?
Pew, 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 pew. Why is this mouse launching cannonballs?
From its
From its belly.
creepy.
It's creepy.
Creepy.
It's creepy, mama. It's creepy, mama. Let's change the origin point up a little bit from 64. We'll change it to like a 50. Or you want to put it to the head of the mouse?
What
that's
about
not
the
working.
hand?
From the hand. It's a bad idea to set that because the mouse flips back and forth. If you set the origin point to be at a point like its hand, when it flips, it'll be coming from its back. Right? So, you know what we're going to do? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to make this... This game just got a whole lot more pleasant. It could be spreading rays of sunshine. It could be spreading joy and cheer, or in this case, it's going to be a bubble. Yay! From its head, its mind bubbles.
He's a magic mouse.
She's a magic mouse.
Ah.
No.
What's wrong with
The
variable
sky.
facing?
It's working, but you can't see it very well.
Guy.
That's a good point. You could quickly make something for the sky, right?
Or make an outline of the bubble.
Have you guys gotten in here and done the backgrounds?
Yep.
Have you?
I use the background for tile set.
You can make a height of whatever you want. You don't want to go crazy with this because you'll wind up with files that are way too large for no reason. But what we can do is you could do image, what is it? Where's the gradient fill? Gradient fill. You could do a really quick image gradient fill and you can get a really quick sky going here. And it's actually a lot of fun. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. So we'll go into our room. And we'll do backgrounds, visible when room starts, and we just made a sky. Boom. And we can call it tile horizontal and not vertical. That way it'll lock it to the top. And then the rest of it will just be white. There we go. Do you see how quick that was? Did you see how quick that was? That's how easy it is. So I just made a background in here to help separate out our mouse.
Whoa. Those bubbles look cool.
See? Now the bubbles look
He
better.
looks like he's blowing bubbles.
I think we've established it's a she.
She is blowing bubbles.
Another great thing to do in your games when you're creating sprites is to give them a bit of an outline. That will make sure that they always stand out. There we go. All right, awesome sauce. Making progress. I think we still have time. Some of the other things we can start instituting is health or bad guys. Anybody want to put in bad guys or health bars? Bad guys? How big's our player? Let's get something in the same ballpark. 120 by 64. So we're going to start a sprite, SPR, baddie. Edit sprite. We're going to do width of 32. We'll make him a little bit smaller. Our bad guy will be the evil Blockus family. They're a family made up entirely of blocks, and it makes sense that they would be our bad guys. Never trust somebody who's just a block. If you ever meet somebody who looks like this on the street, you know that they're a bad guy.
I might want to beat him up. I'm kidding.
Right? There he is. There's our bad guy. And we'll do the modify mask. We'll do this again. I'm doing this. The reason I'm doing this again and again is because I want you to remember these steps. We'll just do a full image rectangle, and we'll go ahead and center his center point.
That's actually kind of cool.
And we need to make an object for the bad guy, right? Object baddie. Bam, bam. And we'll go ahead and set a collision with the bullet. And when he collides with the bullet, he will get destroyed. This is not going to be a very exciting kind of a game so far, right?
At least make him bounce against the platforms.
Yeah, we could do that, except we're not going to. Oh, I just remembered the other thing. This is going to have a glitch, but we'll go ahead and fix it because I'll show you. I'll show you how to work around that one.
Glitches are awesome.
Glitches are awesome. Look, it's the evil baddies. Boom, boom. What do you think we need to do?
Destroy the bullet when it touches them.
Pardon me?
Destroy the bullet when it touches them.
Exactly. Exactly. We need to destroy the bullet. Object bullet, we want to destroy myself. And we're going to drop in this. And remember, as you just said, destroy other. When you use this little checkbox called other, it means the other thing that's involved in this collision event. What are the two objects that are involved in this collision event right here? What are the... Correctamundo, the bullet and the bad guy. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put this up first. We're going to destroy the bullet and then myself, because otherwise there's a chance that the game will glitch out and destroy the bad guy and not the bullet, because how can it destroy the bullet when it just destroyed itself? Right?
That does make sense.
Generally, you want the destroy event to be the last thing that happens.
You could program a random generator for the room.
Sure. We could get crazy with it, and let's see if this works now. Now, another great thing to do is to add animations to all of this so that there's an object that has a little explode animation, and then it goes away, you know. So now we'll do it. Pew! Pew! Look at that. Golf clap. Golf clap. Golf clap. Now, if you wanted to get really fun with it, what you're going to do is start getting into a little bit of a bad guy programming, right? Are you guys ready for this? Okay, let's do it. Add event on create. Our bad guy is going to go left or right. He's going to choose which way. He's going to go on 5. And when he collides with another bad guy, we're going to make him reverse his direction. Okay, this is all there in the drag and drop. You should play around with this stuff and see. The other thing he's going to do is when he collides with a solid, he's going to reverse direction. I just copied it. Okay. Now they don't have gravity, so they're just going to float in the air. So the same way that you added all this coding to your player with gravity, all that stuff works on any random object like a bad guy too, right? You follow me? You could take all that same coding. You can actually just copy the coding from your player and put that onto the bad guys. And we're going to slide these guys over. They don't have any gravity, so I will just, and we're gonna copy and paste with Control C, Control V in case you don't know. Watch this. What do you think is going to happen now?
You should make it so like, if the mouse man falls, will he die?
No, not yet.
She die. Well, you should make it like the Mario thing where one of the bad guys falls off the edge. The player knows. If you ever do that.
Oh, I know why he's colliding. He's stuck on the floor.
In the floor?
Yeah, because I didn't add my. You remember how I just told you we need to add some of our code to the bad guys? So I'll put him over the floor that way.
Should add gravity.
So the bad guys also need gravity and that collision with the floor. The same stuff that you've got on your player, you need to put that on your bad guys. That way they can have a little bit of autonomy. There we go. Where are you going, you jerks? Come back here, you! There they go. Okay. Well, that didn't work at all.
What is going on?
I'm resetting it.
That's just weird.
I'm trying to make them bang into each other. I think we need to make this block up a little bit higher. Oops, because he keeps going right through the collision area of it. They just took off. again, this is why you need to program a lot of autonomy into your bad guys so that they have behavior. There you go. Okay. There they go.
Hey, did they bounce off each other?
It looks like they're passing through each other. So I don't. Are they bouncing off each other, or are they?
You could make them bounce off each other.
Yeah, they're supposed to bounce off each other. They might be bouncing off each other, and they just don't look like it.
Make them different colors.
On collision with baddie, reverse direction. Make them different colors. That would be. We'd have to make another baddie. Tell you what you can do if you want to add a little bit of fun to your characters here. We can give them different colors. Usually different colors of bad guys have meaning. My background is set to green so you can't see him. Set transparency background to a block pattern, then you can see him. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. He has 0 or 1. Here's a good thing you can do. On create, we can have him change his sprite. How about that? Change his sprite. He'll keep it to what he already is. It'll be sub image. Choose. Here's a great code for you. Here, I keep giving you all this wonderful code. If you jot it down, it's really, really helpful. Really helpful bits of code. His sub image, that means which frame of the image is he going to use, right?
Choose a random.
He can choose one with a code called choose. Choose between 0 or 1. Speed of 0. He doesn't need to have speed. So now he's able to choose either that red one or the green one. The neat thing about this is you can make a whole bunch of plants and backgrounds and trees. You can make bad guys. You can make all kinds of stuff. And you can just put them all on one sprite and they could choose. There we go. We've got a red one. They're both red. Why are you both red? You jerks. Oh, there we go. Now we got a red one. They're passing through each other. Why are they passing through each other? They're supposed to be bouncing off each other. Hit me.
Is there a way I can make the enemies make sure they go in a different direction? Like, I'm having mine bump against the wall and then go a direction. But sometimes when they bump against the wall, they'll keep going towards the wall, so they'll get stuck wherever.
It should be on collision with that. What do we have? That move should be bounce against it, not precisely. Bounce against. Let's try that. And there's a precisely and not precisely in there. Try them both and see what happens. That might be one thing. Let's try it with mine. They're supposed to reverse direction, so I don't know what their problem is. There they go. Boink. 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 We could add more fun to them and have them flip their direction as well.
You should make them change colors
They could.
whenever they hit each other.
Because then it could be Mouse Lady's rave party.
Rave party. There we go. So now the two different colors. We could tell. Ta-da!
Not quite. They're still getting stuck.
Boink. Boink. Bam. Bam. Golf clap. Golf clap.
No, I'm not done. Hey, I'm not done. Oh, there.
So, 5 minutes. So, now what do? Your player needs to have some health, right? Are we getting Are we getting enough here, guys? Are we catching on to what I'm laying down here? Going too fast, not fast enough? Anybody? For those of you watching at home, the blank stares have continued. We believe it may be an epidemic. All right, we're going to set my health in the first place to 10. And we'll add a draw event, and we'll draw our value of health. How about that? Let's see. Is that draw? Woo! All right, if you get into health, don't freak out. But this is a lot of stuff. Oh, that's what I just remember what it was I was going to show you. X1, X2, X1, Y1, X2, Y2. These are all the 4 points. You guys remember your XY coordinates? I'm going to go to the marker board for those of you at home. I'll try to explain what I'm doing. If you get into drawing health with that draw event, look up here, y'all. We've got 4 values, X, Y, X, Y. Okay? X1 is the left, right? Y1 is the top. X2 is The other side, right. And Y2 is,
The bottom.
oh, the bottom. The bottom. Now, what you wind up doing between these XY coordinates, between X1, Y1, what you just did was you defined the corner of it, really. Right? Because what happens when you say left and top is that you really say where the corner is. But what you're defining is what's the left side, what's the top side, what's the bottom side, what's the right side. And when you do that, you're able to define where your health bar is going to be. This is where you get a little bit weird, because when you're using views and the view is moving, you're going to have to draw everything to the view or to the player. So, but if you do get into this at home and you want to draw it to the view or to the player, you could write it like this. And this is where you just have to write a little bit of code. There's no way around this. View underscore x view 0. That's the top left. That's the left edge of your view, but we're gonna offset it a little bit, plus 10. Right? That's as complicated as it gets. I hope that didn't confuse you too much.
I can't even tell what that is.
I'll view underscore y view bracket 0. So this is the y, this is the top corner of it. And this is the left, this is the top. This is the right x view plus, this is how wide the bar is going to be right here. Plus 100, and this is how tall the bar is going to be. Boom, boom. Back color will be, this is what it will fade to when you get hurt. Or, I'm sorry, this is the, oh no, it's a background color. And it will go red to green. Actually, you know, there's a relative. We can actually draw a bar over our player's head, if you like that. Isn't that fun? All right, guys. I think that's about all we have time for right now. And there's my health bar.
Well, where are you?
Where am I? I didn't draw myself. You have to do a draw self. This draw self parenthesis is how you write that. That probably goes in here somewhere in code. I'd have to find it in the drag and drop. Anytime you use a draw event, it's drawing exactly what you told it to draw, and that's all.
So I have a question.
And there's the bar up there. I can make it bigger. We got to wrap it up here.
How do you, just quick, where is the you said Game Maker had like a thing that it would tell you how to do some stuff?
Yep.
Where is that? I can't find it.
Look, I have a 50-point bar now.
I don't know what's with the health bar, but that just.
The health bar is drawing 100 pixels, 100 wide, but my health is less than that. My health is only at 10.
What?
What I meant was when you're writing code, as you begin to write, it'll have little tool tips. It'll try to give you a tip to show you. There it is.
But where is it? What button do I click for that?
If you're in any event, step event, draw event, wherever, you can grab code and drop it in. And you can just start typing stuff right here. Look on the internet. Do a search for. See you guys. Game Maker drag and drop to GML, Game Maker language.
Who cares? Yeah, who cares?
If you're trying to learn any of the language in it, so it'll be. If you write draw, it says what? Draw blah blah blah. All this stuff. There's a little button right here you have to push to make it activated. It's activated by default though. That little guy right there. Is show tips. Boom, boom. Save it. Okay, that's all for our recording today and all for our class. Thanks, everybody.